G'day traders, Sam here from Trade to Prosper. Today's Friday, the 21st of October 2022, to give you a Bitcoin update. And when I'm looking at this chart, it's come to my opinion that yes, I'm still on the right track, and potential capitulation is in the making soon. Who knows when? But when you look at this structure on the short term or short time period on the 4 hour, you can see there is some meaning to this. So you can see that candle, this pivot point, and this grind line, and then you can see the resistance. That's confirmation that this trend line is significant. Very much so with this trend line. Yep, a grind line, and when it loses its level, it drops. And you can see how much it dropped. Therefore, this is another situation where, A, we didn't hit this 618 level. Maybe we can get it. Maybe we can go up like that and back down again. It's very likely that that could happen. However, that Fibonacci level is also resistance. So it's seeming to be just weakness along. I just can't see how this could just continue becoming bullish and a breakout trade to the upside. All right, anything can happen. The wild's going to do whatever they want. Here, if this was to go up there quick, if it was a quick move, I'll be shorting, looking for a short position to come down hard. So it's about liquidity and the grind line. So we need to look at the other charts, but so far this is what's looking like to me, a position of weakness. Let's look at another perspective and looking at when is this likely pivot point to take place. If we continue going sideways, and there's a range at the moment, so this range, and you can see how when it drops hard, it bounces hard. So if we see it slow, then it's likely to be more bearish, is the word. Now, that is our range. We're on the top half of this range. Agree? So if it's going to take, if it drops today, it's likely to drop down, and then we're going to be in this lower half. That's where the real test comes. This lower half could go, and then we find some resistance. So if this was to drop anytime soon, maybe here, I don't see it going back up. But anyway, I'll see it come back down. Yeah, levels. This has been proved to be a level of demand from the local perspective. This section here is forgotten. Forget about it. It's this locality. Obviously, we have a number of levels when we say, okay, that could play out as well. That's probably the next level if it drops, but it's not much really from that level. And then obviously we got the last. And it's all about how it comes down to that level. But if this starts dropping, I do believe it's going to drop sooner or later. I don't think it's going to get to this corner before it does it. I think there'll be some movements either to that level and then bounce down, or drop and then resistance and come back down. But this level is going to play out again, and it's going to really test the bulls. And I think it's going to fail for a number of reasons, and we talked about that from the SP 500 perspective. But this level, currently at 19,000, guess what? No, round number, is likely to drop down to close to 18,000. Round number. There you go. So this level is where I think it will likely come, and then we'll see what happens here. This could be a pivot point to the upside. I doubt it, but if it gets that kind of response, if we get a wick like that, then it's going to be something like that as well, and get ready to short. Yep, we're going to have this. I don't think it's going to, if it goes like that, past this trend line, then that's going to be a strong signal that it's not coming down. But we've got to see how that takes place. Long-term wise, let's look at it from the Bollinger point. Let me add this Bollinger band, and let's see what it says to us. So let's get rid of this. And let's look up close. So I'm on the 4 hour. And let's just highlight these buggers a bit more. Get some depth into those lines. That's the top, and that's the bottom. Okay, now what you can see from this perspective, this is the squeeze. Yeah? First of all, it was ranging. Now this is really a good squeeze. And if we were to enable a few moving averages, let's see what they do. Do we have anything clear? It's not really stretching with the Bollinger Band, does it? Annoying. Okay, so what we have with the Bollinger Band is in the 4 hour is downward. So see how this points downwards, and see how that points downwards. It is bearish at the moment, and yes, we understand that point of perspective. But you can see the mean, the middle part of this Bollinger Band is acting as resistance. When it breaks above it, yep, hits the top of the Bollinger Band, comes back down. But now this is starting to point down. And when it starts to point down, this is likely to continue down. Yep, and then what we want to see is when it breaks the middle band, then we could be bullish. But at the moment, it does look very bearish from the Bollinger Band perspective on the 4 hour. Let's delete all that. And let's look on the daily. See what the Bollinger Band is saying on the daily. Yeah, Bollinger Band on the daily is also pointing down. So when you see that kind of Bollinger Band, when it starts to move up, you know there's going to be a bullish move. And when it comes down, it's like an indicator in a way. You see that. Now here we've got a range. Yeah. The top is pretty flat, but the bottom is starting to point down. Not a good sign. We have these moving averages. I don't know which one it is. 50 moving average. Yep. So that's acting as resistance. No surprise. And then you can see these two moving averages as well, acting as resistance. Until we break these, don't bother being bullish. Daily candles showing a lot of resistance. Free red crows. Support. It's knocking. So this perspective is pretty bearish as well. For those who've seen my previous postings, we also have this macro picture, and what we did was we explored that scenario where we get this and we expand it, and you can see a lot of confluence, how this acted at the middle part, acted as support all along, the top acted as resistance all along, and we're right there. So this chart, I believe this is one of two that I have. There's another one, but I won't share that at the moment. And so when we look at this, and let's just move all these. Actually, we need to get rid of that. And obviously I've got some levels there as well. So when we look at this, let's just get rid of some of these. Okay, let's look closely. So that trend line, this macro level is acting as support. It's my 0.5 fib, and you can see, if you look at it carefully, you can see how that all these Fibonacci's had a key level. 0.618, major resistance. So we have this Fibonacci that's locked, and we've got this fib extension. So this level here, which is about 16,400 or 300 and something, equates to that level there where there was a bounce. So if this was to come down, I would think there will be a bounce of some sort, and it could be the catalyst. But how high would it go? I think if it touches that trend line, it's going to come back down. Actually, we'll try. No, it doesn't look there. Let's start again. So I did talk about this scenario. See this moving average as well. It's been, and the last part, you can see, let's just zoom in, very close to acting as support. So this is the line that's really going to be the determinator if it's going to capitulate. But this is also a key level. So we've got two. I think when it comes down here, we're going to find that as resistance, and we're going to go down. It's going to be buy the dip, guys, buy the dip, and we're going to see that bounce, but it's just not going to have it. It's not going to have it in there. And if we look at something similar, is here. This one's a bit different in that sense that was a level there. There was a key level there. So just by these actions, so we lost that grind, and then there was this last stage before it dropped. So in my opinion, we're going to have this last stage before we drop, potentially. So I'll be looking for a bounce there, and I reckon there'll be a capitulation to the 14K level. That's my thinking, and that's coming down from this structure. So if we measure this structure, give or take a bit, it's going to be hard to know where that is. We can always align it with down there, give it take. Really depends what it does, but you can see that trend line. So I do see it coming down to this 14K level. Does the 14K level have? I think it's going to slow down, but that's where I think. Whoops. That's where I think that's the next level down. This major fib. We'll have an intermediate level there, but you can see from that perspective. I did this before as well. If we look at this Fibonacci level to that level as the 0.618 or the 0.68, you can see, let's just do that for a sec. I'm going to drag that across. Yep, it does equate. So just using this method, our 1.618 is about 9K, 10K, and that's down here. So it might be long-term wise next year, we might get a bounce and then come back down like that, or bounce up to there, somewhere there, and then come back down. So this level of mine is a lot of interest. It's got the 1.272. I think it's going to be strong. We'll need to see how it correlates with the SP500 or this level here. So that is my level. This is the range that I'm interested in. It's got the measured move into the box, and I think this could be a good move for there. And what I've said in the past, that this is my 1, 2, 3 sigma move based on one of the guys on the internet. I agree with his commentary. And then we have our ABC. So then we have our A, B, C, and it might be around here. Yep. And then we go up. That move is related to this. We go our 1, 2, 3. And then we have our A, B, C. And I'm looking for that. And I think this is the ultimate bottom, but we're going to have potentially something, I don't know, whatever it does. Could be a descending wedge or macro wise, but I do see this taking place. We had this play in the past where we use, what do you call it, inverted bar or bump and run, and if you ignore the white, what do you call it, the black swan event of COVID, you can say that was a triangle of some sort. We might be able to find that out later with this. We just need the more pieces to the puzzle, but definitely 10K was the 3-year resistance up to a point, or 2 years, or whatever the case, and it's likely this level, and it's coming across. It is coming across. Wrong one. Let's see this one, and that one there. Just drag it out. I think it's going to come into that play, give or take. I think this level is going to be very strong support. I don't think it'll get there this time. I think it'll go up and then back down. Anyway, that's what I think. Give me a like and share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.